UK sets to deport international students. This is one news that has been trending for weeks now. And students right there, international students right there in the UK, are not finding this news funny. As some of the schools right there in the UK have informed the UK Home Office, notifying them that they have withdrawn their sponsorship from these students. And as an international student in the UK, once sponsorship is withdrawn, most likely deportation is in the horizon. You see, the inability of our local currencies in Africa to gain power, to gain stability against foreign currencies are the major reasons why many of our people abroad are finding it difficult to either pay their school fees or even have a decent life. Just imagine, the UK pound is, I think, around 1,900 naira to 1 UK pound. Just imagine. 10 pounds is over 19,000 naira. 1,000 pounds is almost 2 million naira. I don't know how much that is in CFA. For those of you whose currency is CFA, do the math. Right now, there are many students right there who are preparing for their exams. And at the same time, many of them have been unable to pay their tuition fees. A lot of them are complaining that due to the current exchange rate of their local currencies in Africa to the pound, they are finding it difficult to meet up with payment. One thing you also have to note about going to the UK is this: UK is no longer in EU. If UK was in EU, it would have been easy or easier for some of these students to access other countries. But right now, they are facing deportation back to their countries. For those of you that are thinking of jackbarring to the UK, it is very, very important for you to think twice. UK is no longer the UK of 15 years ago, of 10 years ago, or 5 years ago. Just like Canada has introduced a lot of immigration policies and changes, UK is not short of doing same. That is why it is very, very important before you embark on a jackpot journey, especially for those of you who are going for studies. Ask yourself, if I am doing a 2-year program and I am paying my first year tuition this year, before I get ready to pay my second year tuition, what will be the exchange rate between my local currency back home and the currency they are using in the country where I'm studying? Just imagine, not too long ago, the naira was about 1,100 or even less than 1,100 to $1. Now, as I speak to you, the dollar is over 1,400 naira in the current exchange market. So just imagine, if about a month ago or a little over a month ago, your tuition fee was 10,000 US dollars, that would be less than 11 million. Fast forward to this day, that same $10,000 now is over 14 million naira. You now ask, how do you expect all these students to meet up? And the current exchange rate is one of the reasons why people are finding it difficult to afford traveling abroad. Just imagine the US visa fee for B1, B2 is now 259,000. This was something that was less than 60,000 about 5-6 years ago. So for those of you that are aspiring to go and study abroad, I will urge you, look well, UK, because I know most of you want to travel abroad to go and study so that you can be able to work. UK is no longer that place. So UK is no longer that place. Because even to this day, people are reaching out to me, telling me they are thinking of studying in the UK, and I have taken time to tell them, the UK you know before is no longer the UK of now. Right now in the UK, people are there on the streets searching for jobs. I always make reference to a particular video or a documentary, I would want to call it, that was made by Sky News, where they were interviewing people who left Africa and paid as high as £10,000 to get jobs, and they were unable to secure shifts right there in the UK. And the way to go around after you finish your studies in the UK, if you are unable to find a job to sponsor you, the money you will have to spend to get a postgraduate visa, or what they call it right there, it is no joke. The money is not beans. That is why I will also tell people, look elsewhere when it comes to studying abroad, especially if Jackpa is your goal. Now, imagine you are jackpotting to UK. The schools there, people are paying as high as 10,000, 12,000, 15,000 pounds a year. Whereas if you look towards Europe, there are schools where you can pay less than 3,000, less than 2,000 a year to study as an international student. Yes, less than 3,000 euros, less than 2,000 euros for international students. That is why I am here to tell you that you as a person, if jackpot is your goal, start looking elsewhere. Because that thing UK used to give, that milk, that tea, that sugar, that honey, that bread, that butter, that sweet that UK used to give people coming there to study, that thing is no longer there like that. Imagine spending 15,000 pounds to go and study abroad, especially if you are going there to study for your first degree. Your husband cannot go with you. Your wife cannot even go with you as a dependent. Whereas in other countries, you can. Canada, Shakara, don't fool everywhere. So please, if you are thinking of going to the UK, think twice. We have schools in Iceland. Their tuition fee, very cheap. We have schools in Finland. Their tuition fees, very cheap. We have schools also in places like New Zealand, not too expensive. And very soon, hopefully this week, I will be dropping a video on some affordable schools right here in the US. Yes, I'm working on that already, and that video will be dropping in the coming days. Affordable schools in the US. Yes, because UK don't cast. UK don't cast, Canada don't cast. That is why it is very, very important when we are informed. You see, for the Indians, once there is a new travel policy, that will benefit foreigners. Before we Africans get to know about it, the Indians, they already using it. They already carrying their people along. So it is after they must have used most of these spots, we will now start struggling. Even though for this UK, a lot of Africans benefited. A lot of Africans benefited from that of Canada. But the Indians are usually the first that will start. Those Bangladeshi people, all those Chinese, they are usually the first that will start to be using their advantage. So it is also very, very important here. Before you go to UK and spend all your £20,000, and at the end of the day, you are unable to get jobs. You are unable to change it. Think twice. So there are people who went to UK. At the end of the day, they cannot find jobs to sponsor them. Some are still hanging there. Some, they have gone back to their countries. Imagine paying £20,000 a year. Then at the end of the day, you are unable to secure a job. And in many cases, it's not like the main goal was that school. Like for some people, and you understand so. So even though that school was very, very important, because like we Africans, we like to go to school. We like to go to school. We like school. But finishing school after spending that kind of amount without getting jobs, it is difficult to take. So that is why I'm here to tell you. If you are thinking of going to the UK, think well, make it not go over you. In the coming days, I will be bringing videos on Schengen visas, affordable schools here in the US, and many more. Till I see you in my next video, guys. Have a good one.